Hi.
I'm Janine Willette.
I'm Tom Pearson,
And I'm Zach Morris.
and we're the artistic directors of Third Rail Projects.
And we're talking to you today about Then She Fell, which is a new project by Third Rail.
And it's gonna open in October 6th, running through the Halloween season. It's gonna be in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, in a former outpatient wing of the Greenpoint Hospital.
Then She Fell is an immersive evening-length performance created for just 15 audience members. The real idea behind this piece was our desire to create a world that our audiences could explore, to feel like they were having sort of an Alice-like experience, where they were by themselves for most of the time. We've taken the last year and a half to figure out how to make that happen through the various iterations that we've been working on. Really, what we wanted to do was create a piece where the audience wasn't just a passive observer, but an active participant, where your explorations was actually what was unlocking the narrative of the piece. And so what we've come up with is this idea where there's only 15 audience members, and so you're by yourself for most of the time. And every audience member is given a ring of skeleton keys. And using that, you can unlock various drawers and roll-top desks and stuff like that, and find medical records or history on Lewis Carroll and what actually happened between he and Alice Little. Find love notes, that sort of stuff. These things also give you access to hidden scenes, one-on-one encounters with the characters. We're also working with sommeliers and some of the coolest mixologists in New York City, and what they're doing is they're creating elixirs, and so throughout the course of the piece, you'll be able to sort of have that experience of finding an eat me or a drink me. The narrative itself is discovered through your explorations.
The groundwork for this piece began over a year and a half ago when we began looking at the life and works of Lewis Carroll and his personal story. At the same time, Zach was creating a series of reveals, a progressive art installation in the windows of a former storefront in One New York Plaza. And we began actually rehearsing within the art installation and using the environment to build scenes. From there, we created a small version of an immersive world and began experimenting with various ways to engage the audience. In June, we created a site-specific performance called Looking Glass for the Bank of America Plaza in LA. We explored primarily movement-based scenes in the gardens and the fountains of the space and adapted the work to various sites in Lower Manhattan as well. In the fall, we took these characters and explored the dark side of the work and placed them inside of our steampunk haunted house. And now for the final iteration of this project, Then She Fell, we're taking all of this material and developing the characters and their stories even further, setting the work in a former hospital space and incorporating the history of the site into the piece as well.
We're currently working intensely through June in the studio to create movement-based material, which then will be used to build out the piece further and adapt back to the architecture. In June, we'll work primarily on the text for the scenes that we want to build out, and by July, we'll be moving back into the hospital, at which point we'll begin putting all of it together in terms of the content. And by mid-August, we start building out the environments for the space, creating the art installations and the ephemera, and then bridging all of that and creating the world in which the content will live in.